Okay, after a lovely night in this parking lot at the old Montana State Prison Museum and Auto Museum, whatever. They got like 5 different
Head north, then turn left.
museums here. We are gonna get some fuel.
Head east on Conley Avenue toward Main Street, then turn left onto I-90 Business Loop West.
And then we're gonna be on our way. My Google directions look a little weird.
I-90 Business Loop West to Main Street. Continue on I-90 Business Loop West for 1
So we're
mile
fueling up in the hopes that the place we end up tonight we're going to be able to stay at for the rest of the week and get through Labor Day. And what's important about fueling up under those circumstances is that we'll be prepared if we need to run generators or anything to, you know, be able to have air conditioning or whatever. So, good idea to be fueled before you're going to sit for a while. And the way most Class C RVs work with onboard generators is that the fuel for the generator is pulled from the same fuel tank that drives the engine. And so it's set that if you get down to a quarter tank of fuel while you're running the generator won't run anymore, so that you won't get stuck someplace and not be able to get out of there. So that's why it's always a good idea to have as close to a full tank of fuel as you can if you're going to go sit someplace for a week or so. Make sense? So this has been Deer Lodge. Deer Lodge has been a fun little overnight stop. And we're going to do something a little bit unusual today, in that we're going to be checking out our possible camping spots, scouting them out along the way to our destination today. And our destination for the day is Big Hole National Battlefield. So we're going to go to the battlefield, and then we're going to go back and go camp. Got a lot of bugs in here still, and I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of bugs over the next week. I think my bug zapper will get a serious workout.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Okay, well, with gas all done, we got crappy fuel economy at 8.51. But I ran the generator for, I think, 2.5 hours on this tank of gas. And each hour uses about 3/4 of a gallon of gas. So, I don't feel too bad about that. But this way we've got a completely full tank of gas. And we are ready to go. So our first stop is going to be in 52 miles. Oh, and that's funny, Indian Creek RV camp at the next exit. And when we get to Yellowstone next week, we're going to be staying at Indian Creek Campground. We were able to get in there, so that'll be cool. Alright, so 52 miles, 22 miles of it on the freeway, so we'll check back in with you a little bit later. Temperature is 62 degrees. Did I do the date? No, today is Tuesday, August the 26th. We're coming up on Labor Day weekend, guys. Hard to believe, I know. And I guess that means we're also starting to wrap up our travel time together. Because our official trip destinations end at Yellowstone, although we may camp together for another week or so as we head back toward Washington. We'll see. Well, Yellowstone at tea times. So we'll see. Well, this says Montana State Hospital in Warm Springs was established in 1877. parking along the roadway here. I can't tell if that's actually the hospital remnants we're seeing there or somebody's residence. Not quite sure. Warm Springs Wildlife Management Area. Okay. Alright, so I guess there's really nothing to see here. Oh, that might... No, I don't know. I got nothing. Well, straight up ahead of us is what was advertised on the highway with an enormous sign that said Anaconda National Historic Site, and it showed something that looked like a stack. And that's exactly what it is. It's a smelter stack. But it's a tourist attraction, not a national park site. So I don't really want to pay money to go visit that. But hey, at least we get to see it closer up. And it's only a couple of mile detour, I think. Not too bad. We've already seen a couple of places along this road that we could camp if we wanted to. And I guess I'll keep that in mind because I think we have to backtrack all the way up here. Maybe. And if that's the case, yeah, I saw a place back there. Big open trailhead. I wouldn't mind spending a week there. Look at that stack. I think they were smelting copper back in the day. No idea how long it went on for though. You got any idea, kid? No, you don't either? Okay. I understand. Truck entering, just one. They only have one truck that might be entering the highway from here. Yeah, see, I bet you could camp there too. Doesn't look like anything prohibiting it. County Airport down here to the right. And the smelter's getting bigger ahead of us. So the Anaconda Copper Company built this smelter stack. It was completed in 1919 and it's one of the tallest freestanding brick structures in the world at 585 feet. That's even taller than the Washington Monument at 555 feet. And it was 75 feet at the bottom, tapers up to 60 feet at the top, and it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. We didn't see it today. About 5 miles into Highway 589, I think this is. Look at how pretty. 7 miles into it. Just absolutely gorgeous. And there are lots of people living out here apparently. I think a lot of them are just living here part-time because a lot of the gates that we've driven past, the roadways behind them have looked pretty overgrown. And what's this say? Watch for snow removal equipment on either side of the road. Yeah, at the beginning of this road there was a sign that said, watch for drifting snow, travel at your own risk. And we are at 6,093 feet in elevation. Here's the truck that's spreading the gravel that we keep driving through. Look, it's a traffic jam. I love the way this guy's waving me on before that RV gets past me. Okay, well at least we'll stop driving through gravel now, which may or may not be good. It might actually be bad. We'll probably just be hitting all the potholes. that they're in the process of filling in. But it sure is pretty, 6,125 feet in elevation. I have no idea how high we're going. And I think we end up having to backtrack this entire road. Pretty sure. Yeah, we could camp right there too. That seat being turned around, you seem to like that perfectly well. I guess that's been about a month and a half, huh? July 3rd we got rid of the recliner. And today is August 26th. And it's just about time to go find another Smart for you. Have another potty cure. Uh-huh. Feet in elevation. So yeah, we're just going steadily up. Try to clean the windshield when we got fuel. But we still got all kinds of bugs stuck to the outside. Wow. 6,670 feet. Top 6750 looks like the top. Looks like it's all downhill from here. And look, there's another car. It's like there's traffic. We're still 15 miles from our potential campsite. And I think to get to the Big Hole battlefield, I think that was like, I want to say 70 miles that Google said was going to take us an hour and a half to get to. And of course, a Google hour and a half is typically closer to 2 hours for us. flag and the child standing on a platform with apparently nothing else around it. I have no idea what that was about. Snowmobile access. Maybe nothing more than some more beautiful scenery, so I think I will pick you back up in a little while. Okay, so we got an 8% downgrade here. Fortunately, the road's pretty straight, and it's relatively short. At least this section. This doesn't actually look like 8%. Maybe it's over the next rise. And of course, you don't ever get really a true sense of how steep a grade is from the video, which is why I'm mentioning it. Okay, crossing California Creek. But we're not in California. And I doubt that it goes to California. Yeah, I guess that was our 8% grade. Weed spray crew ahead. Saw a bunch of those signs yesterday and never did see a weed spray crew. So who knows if we will or not. Definitely a lot of smoke. And the gal at the visitor center yesterday said that there were fires to the south that they were coming from, and we're basically heading south. Well, not at the moment, but our general trajectory is south, going to Yellowstone and the Tetons. This gives me an idea of why they call it Big Sky Country, even with all the smoke. Is this the weed spray crew down here, maybe? And we've got a derelict looking building that could be an original log cabin. That could have been a homestead right there. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. And Google just decided it's rerouting us. Divide. We camped in Divide in Colorado. Wisdom is to the right, so we're actually starting our detour now to go look at this campground, which is 2.7 miles down the road. Pretty hopeful. Look at that pretty river. Wonder how bad the bugs are. That's really pretty. This looks pretty nice from here. Okay, kid. Okay. Okay. Settle down. Okay. Knock it off. Knock it off. You're okay. Campground and boat launch. Well, this says it's a fee area as well. But let's just drive through. And it's, you know, Golden Age, half price, so it's probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, this way we can see everything and we can move back.
Yeah. We could share this one on the right really easily. Well, this is very, very pretty. I think it's a win. Okay, well, we're gonna just leave my RV here. How cool was that? Oh, can't put the window down. Glad I noticed. Because this is just beautiful. Go ahead and go all the way out because I want to park near where you're parked. That's okay. It's going to take me just a minute to check level and, you know, put up the window covers and stuff. Okay, Kit, where are we? Where are we? Well, I see there's a pet area and a visitor center. We are at Big Hole National Battlefield, which is all about the Nez Perce, last big battlefield. So we're going to check this out today. And we have already secured our campsite for the next few days. Look, it's a telephone. I wonder if it works. When is the last time you saw a public telephone? Let's just see. Emergency calls or calls with calling card only. There is a dial tone. Change not accepted. Wow. Crazy, crazy, I tell ya. Kit, go around. Go around. Well, that was quite the thing to see. So we're going to go ahead inside and check it out. We're going to start off with the movie because that's what we always do. Welcome to Wisdom. And from Wisdom you can get to Warren Hot Springs, Maverick Ski Area, Bannock State Park, and Jackson Hot Springs. But we're going to stick with Wisdom for the moment. And we understand that Wisdom would be to go to Antlers and get pizza. So that's what we're going to do.
In 800 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Well, that's good to know. I had no idea that you could drive to Wisdom. I thought you had to get there just by age and experience.
Post office, 350 feet, so, and there it is right there.
Yep.
So, oh, they got RV parking in the back, or I don't know, it looks like it. It is
There's
now.
plenty of parking.
Destination is on the right.
Homemade pizza.
Homemade pizza. You want to get some homemade pizza, Kit?
This is good.
Look at this. Just look at it. This, my friends, is a brisket and bacon pizza with jalapenos and pineapple. I had pretty high expectations, but they've been exceeded. That's what I got. What did you get, Barb?
I got the brisket and bacon sandwich, and it is awesomely delicious.
So this is a really good stop. This is called Antlers. I can't imagine why. Why do you think this might be called Antlers? Let's just take a look around. Oh, there's some. There's some more. There's plenty of antlers in here. But I would say go for the brisket pizza or the brisket sandwich. Either way, can't go wrong. Oh, and we are in Wisdom, Montana. So Wisdom would be come to Antlers. Now, I'm not sure if this is still officially part of the Big Hole Valley or not. This is the Wise River right next to us here. And we're camping on the Wise River some number of miles further up the road. Not quite sure how many.
About 11 miles.
About 11 more miles. So, and we will be camping right next to the Wise River. But what a beautiful area. Just look at it. Pretty spectacular. And it does kind of bring to mind why they call Montana the Big Sky Country. Look at that view. Just look at it and then imagine how much better it would be if it wasn't all smoky. And speaking of weather phenomena, apparently we're under a flash flood warning starting tomorrow until the following day. So that should be fun. Good thing we're not camped right next to the river. I have a feeling we're spending the better part of the next couple of days inside. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, there's one of those haystacks. Sorta. Now that's got a wooden rim around it. That's not like the ones we saw yesterday. And I forgot what they called the haystack, or it had some other name to it. But I can't remember what. But basically, they push the hay up a ramp, and then it falls into a bin. And it makes this enormous square, kind of like that one over there. Let's see if we get a glimpse of another one for you. Yeah, that might be all we get. They have the fishing access points marked really well in Montana. There's one now. Little vault toilet down there. Might be the remnants of an old homestead there. Seen quite a bit of that as we've been driving around in Montana. So here's a campground.
Definitely doesn't look level.
Campground right here along the river with picnic tables alongside of it. That was one of the choices that we had. I think this is still a free site, but
Mosquitoes.
more mosquitoes when you're right next to the water. And then I think that's the camp host. And then I think this is actually a private campground right here. So that'll cost way more than is necessary. I think we only got a couple of miles to go yet before we get back to where we're going to be.
We'll be there in about 5 minutes.
This is beautiful. It's a beautiful river. It does look like it's got a fair amount of floating vegetative debris, so I'm not sure whether or not we're going to go wading, but we'll see. One of the things that I thought was interesting in the film at the Visitor Center for Big Hole was that they showed the American soldiers just wading across the river to get to the Indians' camp. So it must not be very deep anywhere along here, is what I'm thinking. But I could be completely wrong. All right, here we go. East Bank Campground.
You have arrived.
We've almost arrived. Kit loves it when it says destination and you've arrived. And then, you see, in my rig, he starts barking when he hears those words.
Does he think you're going to leave him?
Yep, I think so. Oh, good, my house is still there. Little bumpity, but not bad. So we're going to get a lot of rain over the next couple of days, but part of what we thought about in choosing this is that this is all gravel road, and we are elevated fairly well above the riverbed. It says the boat ramp straight ahead, but I think they mean the boat ramps to the right. Mm-hmm. The campground, of course, is to the left. These guys decided they were in site number 2, so we started counting from there. And how do we know that? Because they stuck their envelope into the Iron Ranger, but they didn't stick it in very far, so I pulled it back out and read it. So we started counting from their site number 2, and this is site number 3, 4, and then 5, where that other fifth wheel is. And then we're going to be over here in site number 6, and we're sharing a site because it's a really long pull-through. So that should work out perfectly well. There's the river back there. You can just barely see it through the trees. This is bear country, and I am sincerely hoping that the mosquitoes are not going to be absolutely awful, but we'll see how it turns out. And this is home. So here's our site. We're parked out near the end of the site. Got a bear box, got a fire ring, got a puppy dog. Got a nice picnic table. And then here's Barb. So all of this, and she's not even at the back of the site, all of this is our site. The pass price, well, the normal price is $15 a night. If you've got the access or senior pass, it's half of that, so it's $7.50. You can have 2 vehicles in the same site, so that makes it $3.75 each per night. Not bad, huh? All right, I think we're going to chillax for a little bit and see what comes next. Too bad we don't get smell-o-vision. It's been very, very overcast and pouring down rain for much of the day today. And now that all these down trees are soaking wet, they stand out more. Kind of interesting looking. Got this big hill up over here beside us. There's only 3 open sites in the campground. Today is Wednesday. This is the week before Memorial Day. No, Labor Day, sorry. So Labor Day will be on Monday. And it's pretty nice, pretty quiet. The river level is down fairly low. We walked down here yesterday evening and saw that you can't really launch a boat. Now, how did that trailer get up over there? That wasn't there yesterday. Interesting. Oh, that's on the other side of the river, though, I think. There's 2 of them over there. Huh. And just in case I didn't film it yesterday, here we are at the river. How beautiful is this? I might have filmed it yesterday, but I'll film it again. And this site is a cooperative effort. There's some kind of road over there, but I don't have any idea how you get to it. I might have to see if I can look that up on Google Maps or Onyx or something. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't think the boat launch is going to get much use, or the boat parking area is going to get much use when we look at the boat ramp over here. So you'd come down here, and you'd come down here, you'd come down here. Oh, and your boat wouldn't quite get in the water before you run out of ramp. Oops. From what I can see, the water's only like a couple of feet deep, too. Be a great place to kayak, though, wouldn't it? I think that would be amazing. I think there's going to be a kayak in my future, in my not-too-distant future. That's what I'm thinking. I've had a little campground tour this morning while we're out walking with Kit. Hey, Kit, Kit! So we are at the East Bank Campground and Boat Launch, Bureau of Land Management, out of the Butte field office. No trash service here. There are a couple of vault toilets. And we've got the boat ramp. It's funny. I don't know, their arrows are kind of weird. It says the boat ramp straight ahead, but it isn't. It's to the right over here. And the overnight camping to the left. Well, it's kind of to the left. Kind of to the left. It is a fee-based site. I'll show you where the Iron Ranger is as we come up here. And part of the reason I'm taking my time on this little jaunt this morning is because, hey, Kit, it's been raining for the past couple of days. And this is the furthest we've been able to walk in a couple days because it's just been, basically pouring down rain. However, this morning is pretty chilly. It is not yet 50 degrees. Stay on graveled surfaces. Kit! Kit! I have to go get him. These people came in the day after us, and they have 3 very large dogs. Alright, hang on a minute. Let me get him. Hey, what you doing? Kit. So this is what a lot of our walks are like. He has to take his time sniffing everything. I guess since we're over here, we'll show you the boat ramp. How about that? And you look over there across the river, and you can see somebody else is camped over there, and somebody else is camped up there. These people just came in yesterday. They weren't here before. Here's the boat ramp parking, and the boat ramp right over there mid-screen for you. It does not reach the water, so the water level is pretty low. Okay, kid, that's enough sniffing that one bush. Let's go. Come on. Come. So yeah, these guys, they've had their dogs out walking a few times, and every time they come by us, Kit starts barking like crazy. And so yesterday evening, when we were out for his last walk, they were coming toward us, and I asked if their dogs were friendly. Hey! And they said they were. And then the gentleman who was holding 2 of them, those 2, they're like Belgian shepherds or some kind of large shepherd. Those 2 started pulling him so strongly they actually pulled him down to the ground. And he was basically being drugged toward us by his 2 dogs. And the woman had one of the dogs, and she was able to control that one pretty well. But I just looked at that, and I think it's time to turn around. So Kit and I turned around and went back the other way so that the guy could try and get control over his 2 dogs. Speaking of which, where's mine? There he is. There he is, busy sniffing all the stuff, huh? Okay, so we're coming up here to the Iron Ranger. Right straight ahead of us here. And it doesn't say it's a one-way loop, but it makes sense that it is. So you're going to want to go to the right. So I guess let's count off campsites for you. So those folks are in campsite number 1. Number 2 is on that side of the road. Number 3 right here. And then number 4 coming up here. Campsite fees. $15 a night. If you have a senior or an access pass, it's $7.50. And Barb and I are sharing a site, so what's that make it? $3.75. Pretty nice, huh? And then there's another site up here before we get to the 5th wheel, and then the 5th wheel. And then there's nothing between the 5th wheel and where we are up at the back there. So if you look over here on the other side of the river, where those guys are, I actually had to look at the map online yesterday to figure out where that was, because it didn't make sense to me how you get to it. And the way that you get to it is you go out this main road down here to the right, and I'm not quite sure how far it is, but you go down there a ways. You cross the river, and then you can turn right on that dirt road, which comes down this fairly steep incline here until it gets back down here in the river bottom, and that's how they get over there. Kit stopped for another break, doing Kit things. Here he comes. Hey, Kit. Wait. Kit. Wait. 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 Okay, go see Barb. And there he goes. He's so fast. So yeah, you can see we're way up here, back here all by ourselves. It's been absolutely lovely. There is one pretty small site But the back end, not too far from my front end, you can see the bear box way over there for that one, and the picnic table. But yeah, this site is enormous, and it made sense to us to just share the site. We can put like 3 more people in here, I think. And that way, we're only paying 25% of the regular fee. So that's pretty cool. All right, so Kit's got his morning routine. We do our walk, and then he gets treats. So we're gonna go take care of that. I really like this river. And the first day that we were here, I didn't know that there was a road over there. Maybe you can see that vehicle through the trees, sorta. Not only is there a road over there, but there's dispersed camping over there. Look at this, there's a guy right behind that bush. Somebody else down there near the corner. There goes that truck. And there are a couple of groups up that way. But this is just beautiful and very peaceful. This is the boat ramp. I guess I'll show you the whole boat ramp. Yeah, that's where the boat ramp ends. That's where the water begins. I think we've got a little issue in that regard. We're going to go ahead and walk down here. We're going to walk down along the riverbed to the end of the boat ramp parking area. So this is also actually a campground, and we've been here almost a week, and it has been absolutely lovely. The only amenities are vault toilets in terms of, water, sewer, trash kind of stuff. There are picnic tables and fire rings and bear boxes. I have not seen an actual bear, but I have seen some bear scat. Fresh. So they're definitely around. We've seen deer. And as I say, this has been just lovely. There is a road right out there. A little bit of road noise during the day, but it super quiets down at night. Had a couple of people came up and camped in here in the parking area for a couple of nights. But other than that, these folks that you can barely see through the trees there beyond the vault toilet are in site number 1. They came in the day after we did, and they're leaving today. And there's another site that is occupied by what appears to be an abandoned fifth wheel. I'll show you that on the way back up. I was talking to these folks in site number 1 last night. They're locals, and they've been here twice since the beginning of July. And that trailer has been here the entire time. They said the first time they were here, they did talk to somebody. They said they were working as a contractor, I guess for BLM. But when the ranger came through the other day, he tagged it subject to tow. So we'll see whether or not we won't see. We'll never know, actually, whether or not they show up to come get it back. These folks were very nice. They said they're going to be leaving this afternoon. Sorry, it's still quite chilly this morning. It was 34 when we got up yesterday morning. 37 today. And I think we're up to about 53 or 54 now. Lost my dog. Where did I lose my dog? Okay, Kit. Where's Kit? He was right behind me. I think he got distracted. All right, let me find Kit, and then I'll get right back to you. There he is. What are you doing? What were you doing, baby boy? He never goes very far away from me. And literally, I had stopped the camera running and he was right there. Came running to me. Come on. Come on, baby boy. I just want to get past these folks. They've got 3 big shepherds. I think they're Belgians. And I don't want to disturb them. I know they're inside, but I don't want to disturb them by being in their presence for very long. So let me pick you up when we get a little further down the road. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. He's so much fun. He's almost like having a, regular sized dog. He loves the outdoors. He likes going for hikes. I just left him behind again. Come, come. Come, come. And if you're wondering, part of the reason I let him be off leash is, so far, anytime there has been a reason for me to put him back on leash, like on the rare occasion that a car might come through, or we see wildlife, or like these folks with their dogs, when we saw them the first time a couple days ago, I call him to me, or tell him to stop where he is, and he compliantly gets the hookup. So, as long as we're doing that, he gets off leash time. And plenty of it, because I think dogs should be dogs. I think even fluffy little baby dogs like him should be dogs and get to live their best doggy life. Where is his best doggy life? Oh, there he is. See, he's right there. He's like, when I turned around, he was like 10 feet away from me. I have no problem with that. So this is the abandoned fifth wheel up here. Look at this. That's what, like 34, 35 feet long probably? 30 to 35, something like that. And pretty decent looking trailer. Triple axle. And in addition to the trailer, they've got a big open frame generator out behind it. And then look at this tent. As we come around. Look at that tent. As you can see, this turned out to be a lovely place to land and wait out the Labor Day weekend without having to worry about being able to find a site or a spot to be able to stay. As always, thanks so much for coming along, and make sure you're subscribed so that you can see what's coming next. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.